Hi everybody, it's Richard here again. Welcome to another video. I never ever thought I would do a video on this artist because I am not a fan of him, and that is Ringo Starr. Now, I do like Ringo and the Beatles. I do like Ringo's drumming, and I do like Ringo's Beatles songs. Well, most of them. There's a couple I'm not too keen on, but I am not a fan of his solo career. So I know there's a lot of talk about Ringo lately on the VC, especially over in America. I know Matthew Smith actually went through every single album, which I don't know how he did, but he managed it anyway. So I thought I would list my 20 favourite songs that have Ringo as lead vocalist. Now, I was going to try and do 20 excuse me, solo Ringo songs, but the last few I could put a couple in, but I'm just not keen on them, so I've actually had to include the Beatles ones. Now, I don't have everything by Ringo at all, which you can probably imagine, but so there's some I can't show, so I'll just maybe put a picture somewhere in here. I don't really know how to do it, of the actual album it's come from. Okay, so starting off number 20, I'm going to give it to Don't Be Cruel, which is the old Elvis Presley number, and it comes from this album here. And this is actually an outtake from this album, so I don't actually think it featured on the album itself. I heard it just scrolling through YouTube, and I played it, and it's very Travelling Wilburys. The voice is not the best. It's Ringo's voice. I don't think the guy can sing, to be honest with you. Every song seems to be just the same way the whole way through, but the music behind it is pretty good, so it gets my number 20. Number 19 is La-Dee-Da, which I remember being heavily played at the time from the album Vertical Man, which I don't have. But yeah, it's a catchy little number and it's okay. I quite like it, so it gets number 19. Number 18, and it's a song from Time Takes Time, and it's called After All These Years, and this is actually pretty good, so it is. Again, this one must be produced by Jeff Lynne because it just sounds like the Travelling Wilburys, but with Ringo's voice, but it's still a pretty damn good song, so I must give that album a listen to. I've got it on MP3. I played After All These Years just to see what it was like, because I heard it on YouTube and I thought it was pretty good, so I'll give the album a listen. I wasn't too keen on the Weight of the World single, but anyway. Number 18 is After All These Years. Number 17, and it's the opening track from the album, which I don't have either, but I've got it in MP3, from Postcards from Paradise, and the song is called Rory and the Hurricanes. And obviously it's a look back at his time with the band Rory and the Hurricanes, and why I like this, it's got really good female backing vocals on it. It's a pretty damn good song, so it gets my number 17. Now we can start showing some either vinyl or CDs. Number 16, I don't have a persistent cough, by the way. Number 16 is from the Beatles, Rubber Soul, What Goes On. A lot of people don't like this. I actually do like it. I think it's a pretty good song. I never skip it. It starts off side 2, and yeah, great little number. So that gets to my number 16. And number 15, it's from Ringo's wrote a gravure, and it's the Paul McCartney song Pure Gold, which I think is really good. It's a bit slushy, it's a bit sentimental, but it's a really good song. This was released in '76, so I think it's nearly as good as most of the stuff off the Wings at the Speed of Sound anyway. But yeah, and it does suit Ringo's voice, even though, as I say, his voice just stays the same the whole time. So that's my number 15. Number 14, I have to show a CD, and this is one of those cheapy Russian 2-for-1 jobs that I got about 20 years ago, and it's from the first album you see there, Sentimental Journey, and it's the title track. Yes, it's an old standard, but I just like the song. I really do like the song, and I think Ringo sings it really well. In fact, of all the Ringo albums, Sentimental Journey is the one I probably wouldn't mind getting on vinyl, because another song that features in my list on this as well. So that's my number 14, Sentimental Journey. Number 13, and from the Ringo album, again it's the other Paul McCartney song, 6 O'Clock, which is great. I think this is probably written around the time of Red Rose Speedway, Band on the Run. Maybe not good enough to get on to Band on the Run, but possibly would have been good enough to get on to like a double album of Red Rose Speedway. I think it's really good, excellent song. One thing I will say about Paul McCartney, he just didn't give Ringo rubbish. So yeah, number 13, 6 O'Clock, great track from the Ringo album. Number 12, I'm going to go back to Sentimental Journey again, and it's the very old standard called Bye Bye Blackbird. That's the Sentimental Journey album there, yeah. Yeah, this is better than Paul McCartney's version on the Kisses on the bottom. It's a great little number, and you know, this album really did get slagged off at the time, but if you think about it, Brian Ferry has since done standard albums. Rod Stewart did about 1 million of them. Paul himself has done them. So maybe Ringo started a trend. He was way before his time. But yeah, great little number. Bye Bye Blackbird. Number 11, and I'm going to go with the single. I think this is his biggest hit in the UK anyway, and this is Back Off Boogaloo. And you know he was hanging about with Mark Bolan at the time, because that's the sort of thing Mark Bolan would have said. Back Off Boogaloo. It's a good song. I do remember this in the charts as well. So I think this got to number 2, something like that. But yeah, that's my number 11. Now number 10 I don't have, and I heard an awful lot about this and I played it. And it's a song called Walk With You from the album Why Not. Now, the thing about this song, the music of it is beautiful, and it's like a duet with Paul McCartney. Now Paul's voice is very fragile on it. Ringo's is exactly the same as normal, but there's something about it that really does shine, and I think it's the fragility of Paul's voice that really does lift the song, and the music behind it is beautiful as well. There's a slight Irishy touch to the start of it as well, so it gets my number 10, beautiful song. Number 9, another hit single for him, and it's You're 16. Yeah, I think it's just a fun song. It gets criticised now for the lyrics, you know, in this day and age, but you know, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to criticise nearly every 50s song there is. So You're 16, number 1 hit in the US as well, so that gets my number 9. Number 8, and one that I've got to really like now, is With a Little Help from My Friends. I used to not like this at all. I still think it's better whenever it's attached to Sgt. Pepper rather than on its own. I think it was Wet 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 that put me off this song, you know, because it got to number 1 in the 80s and I hated it. But yeah, this is my number 8, With a Little Help from My Friends. Number 7, and certainly not the worst song off this, and it's Act Naturally. And the open side too, I love it, absolutely love it, always have loved it. We're getting into really, really good songs here that I love. That's Act Naturally. Number 7, and we'll go back to, if I can find this again. Yeah, Ringo's wrote a gravure, and it's the one that he wrote himself, called Crying, and it's a little country number, and it is absolutely beautiful. It is brilliant. It's the best song off this by a distant mile. So Crying from Ringo's wrote a gravure at my number 6. And number 5, you can't help but love it, Yellow Submarine, and this does deserve its place on Revolver, but I just thought to show the soundtrack this time. Number 1 hit, and yeah, along with Eleanor Rigby, but to me the main single there is Yellow Submarine, and I think he plays this to death whenever he's in concert. I think he actually plays the same set all the time now, but yeah, love it, from Revolver and the Yellow Submarine soundtrack. Number 4, and another number 1 hit in America, and that is Photograph, and this was co-written with George Harrison, and this is brilliant. And if the Beatles had stayed together, I think this would have been a Beatles single. It's that good. So Photograph is my number 4. Number 3, a lot of people don't like this, but I love it, and it is from the White Album, and it is not Good Night, because I can't stand it. It is Don't Pass Me By, and if this had been a single album, and don't shoot me down, because I don't think it should have been a single album, but if it had been, Don't Pass Me By would have been included, because it's that good. I love it. Again, it's like a country-ish type number, and you know, he does. The country music does actually sound. It actually does suit Ringo's voice, and I love it. It's a really, really good song, and it's one of the highlights on side 2 for me. So, Don't Pass Me By. My number 2, and this was I nearly put this at number 1 actually, and we'll show this actual album. It's on this, and it's the title track. This is Blast From Your Past, and it's the title track of Beaucoup de Blues, and I absolutely adore that song. And again, it's a country number, and it's my favourite song off this. I love it to bits. I'm not too keen on the Beaucoup de Blues album. My brother had it, and I think it got past the 3rd song, and that'll be about it for me. But this first song is beautiful, and it's the 2nd song on side 2 here. Which means, what is my number 1? So my number 1, and there's no surprise here, is Octopus's Garden from Abbey Road, which is a classic. In fact, this whole album is classic, and nothing should be changed. And I keep going back. I've played the Giles Martin mix a few times, but for me, the original is the best. Okay, so that's my rundown of my 20 favourite Ringo songs. I do have quite a few albums of his. I don't know why I've got them. Probably because I bought them for about 99p each. Anyway, that's me for now. It's an odd video. I thought I would do it. So anyway, I hope you're all keeping safe. I know it's quite boring staying in all the time, especially now that the weather's getting good, but you know, as you can see in the UK, our Prime Minister is now in intensive care, so this just highlights what a dangerous disease this is. So anyway, stay safe everybody, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.